She stopped replying. No explanation, no goodbye, just silence. And in that silence, most men do the one thing that guarantees they lose. Completely, permanently and painfully. They chase, they panic, they send the fourth text, the fifth. But nearly 2,000 years ago, a Roman emperor faced betrayal, abandonment and silence from people he trusted far more than any modern relationship. And he wrote down exactly how to respond, not with panic, with power. Today, we're going to use his words and 6 other Stoic philosophers to give you 7 rules that will change how you handle being ignored forever. Welcome back to Wisdom of Humanity, the place where ancient Stoic wisdom meets modern life. Every week, we take the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca and turn them into practical tools you can use today for your mind, your relationships, and your peace. If that sounds like something you need, consider subscribing, because what you're about to hear might be the most important reframe you get all year. Let's be honest about something first. Being ignored doesn't just sting because of the person doing it. It stings because of what your mind does with the silence. Silence is a blank page, and an anxious mind will always fill a blank page with the worst possible story. She's lost interest. She's talking to someone else. I said something wrong. I wasn't enough. None of that may be true. But your brain doesn't need it to be true. It just needs quiet to spiral. This is the trap, not her silence, your interpretation of it. Epictetus said it bluntly: men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of things. The ignoring is a fact. Everything else, the story, the shame, the panic, that's you, writing a script no one asked you to write. So before we go further, comment below. Have you ever built an entire imaginary story out of someone's silence? You are not alone. Let's fix that, one rule at a time. Rule 1 is the hardest, because it has to happen in the first 60 seconds, before you've even had time to think. When you notice she's not replying, your body will want to act immediately. Send another message. Check her online status for the 10th time. Call. This is not logic. This is your nervous system trying to end an uncomfortable feeling as fast as possible. Marcus Aurelius, in the middle of running an empire, facing wars and betrayals daily, wrote himself a simple reminder every single morning. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Here's what that looks like in practice. The moment you feel the urge to act, don't. Put the phone down. Literally, physically set it aside. Go for a walk. Do 10 push-ups. Make tea. The goal isn't to distract yourself forever. It's to let the first wave of panic pass before you. Make a decision from it. Because here's the truth. Almost nobody tells you the message you want to send in the first 5 minutes of being ignored is never the message you'll be proud of an hour later. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. But stay with me, because this is the rule that changes everything else. You need to detach from the outcome. Not pretend you don't care. Not perform indifference. Actually, internally, release your grip on whether she replies or not. This sounds impossible when you like someone. But consider this. The more visibly desperate you are for a specific outcome, the less power you have, and ironically, the less attractive that desperation becomes. Neediness is loud, presence is quiet, and quiet is magnetic. Seneca wrote to his friend Lucilius, "He who has begun to want what he need not want, must want still more." Translation: the moment you make her reply a need, you've handed her silence the power to control your entire emotional state. Detachment isn't coldness. It's this simple internal sentence: I would like her to respond, but my peace does not depend on it. Say that to yourself right now, out loud if you can. Feel the difference between wanting and needing. There are 2 traps here, and most men fall into one of them. Trap 1, chasing. Double texting, over-explaining, apologizing for things you don't even understand. Trying to win back attention through sheer volume of effort. Trap 2, and this one is sneakier, punishing, going cold on purpose. Posting a story clearly meant for her to see, being short and passive-aggressive if she does eventually reply. This isn't Stoic discipline. This is wounded ego wearing a mask of strength. A true Stoic response is neither of these. It's simple, brief, and calm. If you need to reach out once more, do it with zero charge attached. No guilt trip, no desperation, no ice. Just, hope you're doing okay. No pressure to reply. And then, this is the hard part, you actually mean it. Epictetus taught that we should treat life like a dinner party. If a dish is passed to you, take a polite portion. If it passes you by, don't reach across the table grabbing for it. Don't sulk either. Enjoy what's in front of you. Here's a question worth sitting with. In the hours since she went quiet, how much of your attention has gone toward her, and how much has gone toward you? Most men in this moment spend 100% of their mental energy analyzing her possible reasons, her possible feelings, her timeline of replies. 0% goes toward their own growth, their own goals, their own life. This is backwards. The Stoics were relentless about turning attention inward, not to obsess over yourself either, but to invest your limited time and energy into what you can actually build and control. Marcus Aurelius asked himself daily, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one, not convince her you're worth texting back. Be the version of yourself so grounded, so purposeful, that her silence becomes a small blip in a full life, not the center of it. So here's a practical challenge. Today, redirect the energy you would have spent refreshing your messages into one thing that actually builds you, a workout, a project, a skill. Let her silence become fuel, not fixation. This next idea is the foundation of all of Stoic philosophy, and once you understand it, being ignored will never destroy your peace again. Epictetus divided all of existence into two categories: things within your control and things outside it. Your thoughts, your actions, your effort, your character, these are yours. Other people's feelings, decisions, timing, and silence, these were never yours to begin with. Sit with that for a second. Her choosing to reply or not reply was never something you controlled. Not today, not last week, not ever. You only ever controlled how you showed up. This isn't a comforting platitude. It's an actual mental technique. When you catch yourself spiraling over her silence, ask one question: is this mine to control? If the answer is no, and it almost always is, you consciously release it, the way you'd let go of a rope that was never attached to anything real. This is not resignation, it's freedom. Because the moment you stop fighting for control over what was never yours, you get all of your energy back for what actually is. I want to say something gently here because this matters. Her silence is information about her situation, her capacity, her circumstances in that moment. It is not a verdict on your worth. We tend to make silence deeply personal. She's ignoring me, specifically because I'm not enough. But people go quiet for reasons that often have nothing to do with you at all. Overwhelm, other priorities, unresolved feelings of their own, timing that simply isn't right. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself constantly not to assign motives he couldn't actually know. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Don't let an unknown, unconfirmed story about her opinion of you become the loudest voice in your head. Your worth was established long before this silence started. It doesn't fluctuate based on one person's response time. Here's the final rule, and it's the one that ties everything together. You don't build stillness so that she comes back. You build it because a man who can remain calm, grounded, and purposeful regardless of who replies to him is simply a stronger, more attractive, more complete version of himself, whether this particular story ends in reconnection or not. If she does come back, she'll return to someone who didn't fall apart in her absence. Someone secure, not someone who spent 2 weeks refreshing a phone. And if she doesn't come back, you haven't lost a version of yourself chasing her. You've built one. Seneca said, "Nowhere can a man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." That's the destination. Here, not a reply. Your own untroubled soul, regardless of outcome. That is the entire Stoic secret. Not indifference, not manipulation, just building a self so steady that silence from anyone loses its power over you. So let's bring it all together. When she goes silent, master your first reaction. Detach from the outcome. Don't chase, don't punish. Turn your energy inward. Remember what's actually within your control. Understand her silence isn't a verdict on you. And above all, become the kind of man worth returning to, with or without her. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire while burying friends, facing betrayal, and absorbing silence from people far closer to him than a text conversation. If he could remain unshaken by that, you can remain unshaken by a delayed reply. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 7 rules do you personally find hardest to practice? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and honestly, some of the best insights on this channel come from you. If this video gave you even a little more peace today, hit like. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need to hear this. And if you want more Stoic tools for real life, relationships, discipline, mindset, subscribe, because we're building something here, one rule at a time. Stay grounded, stay unshaken. I'll see you in the next one.